All right, we got 9:01 on Monday, November 10th, 2025 in the Chickasaw County Courthouse boardroom. We'll call the Board of Supervisors to convene. Roll call. We have Suko, Carter, Brightbach, Hackman present, no Sawinski, along with Board Secretary Sheila Shepperton. Is there a motion to approve today's agenda as presented for November 10th?
Move. Second.
Motion by Steve, second by Isaac to approve the agenda. Any discussion? If not, roll call. Steve?
Aye.
Isaac?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
Jake, aye. Motion carried with the absence of Scott. Approve the minutes from last Monday, November 3rd.
Oh, sorry.
Motion by Travis, second by Steve to approve the minutes of November 3rd. Any discussion or changes? If not, roll call. Travis?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Isaac?
Abstain.
Jake, aye. Motion carried 3-1 with his as abstained. And Scott not present. Motion carried. I think we can squeeze this in. Custodian Dave Gorman. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning.
There is a discuss and approve Toys for Tots at the Heritage Center. Dave, you got presented from Chris Markham, wondering if they could use the storage room again at the Heritage Center. Do you have any other information?
Yeah, this is just basically the same as it was last year. She'll be storing her toys there for the kids, distributing them at certain hours. I'm not sure what they are, but basically the same as last year. And then she also would just need a door key like she did last year to let people in and out to conduct business on that scenario.
So then I reached out to the county attorney. He drafted the new storage agreement with today's date for a period of 1 year. Signed by the chair and then signed by Chris Markham when she comes and gets the keys. Any other discussion or concerns? Is there a motion to approve with board chair signature?
Second.
Motion by Travis, second by Isaac to approve the storage agreement with Chickasaw County and Toys for Tots for space at the Heritage Center. Any discussion? If not, roll call. Travis? Isaac? Steve?
Aye.
Jake? Aye. Motion carried 4-0 with the absence of Scott. Department update, Dave?
I think the only thing I have right now is, we'll have the Veterans Day event going on out front tomorrow, which I'll be here for, like I usually do. And then Stanton Electric, I think, plans on being here to do some maintenance work on a ground issue that we have on the second floor, which I told them I would accommodate them on that and make sure doors are open and I'd be around for any other needs they have, so.
And it sounds like also we're gonna be here Friday to do some ground stuff on the outside of the building too.
Yeah, I think they're doing the interior work tomorrow. And then later in the week, do the outside work.
Sounds good. All ready for winter?
Pretty close. Hoping for a few more good days, but yeah, we're working that way and things are going all right. So.
Let us know if you need anything else for winter or some extra hands, but we have that LEMC under contract to be done by Chuck Stanton.
Yes, yep, that'll help out a bunch. I have the same scenario going on this year where I'll keep one of the tractors at the ambulance shed. Brandon down there, he's more than happy to run that as needed down there for their driveway and whatever, so. I think we have the same plan going on this year, so.
All right, anything else for Dave or any concerns? All right, thanks, Dave.
Okay, thank you.
I'll get this signed if you want to let Chris know that it's gonna be up at the auditor's office.
Okay. Yep, I'll let her know to come up and she'll sign for that key also.
All right, thank you. 9:05, any public comment, Sheila?
No,
All right, we're gonna do some housekeeping here quick. Tomorrow's a holiday for the county, and thanks all the veterans out there. Wednesday, though, we have to canvass the election. Is 1 o'clock gonna work for all of us to show up? Okay, so 1 o'clock, Sheila, if you
Okay.
can put that out there as a meeting. Then
Okay.
canvass the city and school election that was held on November 4th. I did check with Scott. And then I just need to account for claims. Anybody gonna attend the District 2 meeting on December 4th in Mason City? If so, I will work with Sheila to get a claim put together. Charlie, you're going? Isaac?
Have to check, maybe.
Okay, get back with me before Thursday so we get that claim paid.
Okay.
You won't be there.
I take every year.
And I know Scott's not going, so right now just two of us, but let me know.
or, didn't Travis,
Me and Travis are going,
and you can't,
he doesn't
Let me
know.
check.
okay.
Alrighty. Moving down to review and adopt resolution 11-10-25-51. A resolution approving and authorizing a form of loan agreement and authorizing and providing for the insurance and levying a rate to pay the notes. Approval of the tax exempt certificate. So Sheila has been working with Avers and Cooney Law Firm. You guys all have a copy of the resolution, I believe. Do you have a paper copy of it?
I do.
Just so I can see one.
There's the front and here's what they got.
So pretty much this resolution is a $600,000 general obligation capital loan note series 2025. Approving and authorizing a form of loan agreement, authorizing the providing for the insurance and levying a tax to pay the note. Approval of the tax exemption certificate.
So the first page, I need to just put who's present,
Yep, so
and then the
we'll fill out
second
who's
page
here,
is who
made the motion,
motion,
who
second,
seconded
and
it.
then.
Yep. Just want to read this. So that's the resolution just for the tax exempt certificate. The tax exempt certificate sets out in detail a number of facts, promises, and obligations which must be met and agreed to by the county in order to maintain these notes as tax exempt. The certificate may contain some blank spaces relating to matters of information dependent upon the resale price of the notes, which are not known and available at this time. So that's why there's some blanks in the tax exempt certificate. Anything
And
else? Otherwise, the tax exempt certificate will be included with the resolution.
yeah, it's a separate, but it will.
It's an attachment.
Yeah.
Any discussion, this has been worked on for about the last 18 months. This is pretty much the last step for the office at the secondary road main shop. We held a public hearing. We had a bank proposal last week. This will get the ball rolling for the closing date on November 25th, which no meeting is needed for the closing, but there is a meeting needed for the
The.
issuing
Death certification,
death certification
certifying the debt.
after we close on it, so. Be available, please, either late afternoon on the 25th, once the money's in our bank accounts, or the 26th, so we can send a resolution to the auditor's office, so we can do the debt service. Is there a motion to approve? Resolution 11-10-25-51.
Second.
Motion by Travis, second by Steve, to approve resolution 11-10-25-51, excuse me. The resolution is called approving and authorizing a form of loan agreement and authorizing and providing for the insurance and levying a tax to pay the note. Approval of the tax exemption certificate. Any discussion? If not, roll call. Travis. Steve.
Aye.
Isaac. Jake. Aye. Motion is carried with the absence of Scott.
I guess you guys, so I got the first part done, and they need like, originals, so there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these need to be signed. Please don't get them. Don't mess it up. I'm sorry.
Get a good copy of this and just sign this one.
You have to sign it. But this one,
That's on that second page.
no,
You got it.
Yeah. Oh, I probably put it up.
Here it is.
And you need to sign these. Again. We'll do this. You can do it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Travis.
So all we really got left, guys, and I apologize for the time, but this was the only times that these people can meet with us today. So we might have to be taking 2 recesses. If we don't have a lot to talk about at committee assignments. So just let everybody know, Denise Bauer's gonna be calling in at 9:30. And then the people that we needed for the 10 o'clock is at 10 o'clock. So apologize, but I tried to get them closer together. Didn't work.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
So what we're gonna do, yes, you are. Anybody had committee assignments from last week? Travis? Nope. I don't really have anything else. I went through the future agenda items. We will need to meet the 17th for claims. And we do have the county library scheduled for their budget request already. I need to reach out to one of them and see if that's the date they really want it. The 18th, we have to do the second canvas, so we will be meeting twice next week too. So, otherwise,
When's the next department meeting?
it's the December 8th. Yeah. I would declare a recess until 9:30.
What'd you say, it's 9:15?
You want to put that glass in?
You bet.
All right, we're back into session here. It is 9:30. This morning, we're gonna meet with IGHCP Denise Ballard. Good morning, Denise.
Good morning.
Discuss and approve change to the IGHCP funded risk. Can you explain why this is a change from what I signed back in April?
Yes. Are you looking at the few pages I sent over? There's like 4 pages.
We got that. We have that, yes.
Okay. So if you look on the July 2025 renewal, at the bottom of that page, the most bottom number where it says funded risk, and then there's a percentage amount. That percentage amount was not part of a formula. It's just an overtype, and the amount that was typed in there was not the correct percentage that we're funding to. I don't work on the end of the paperwork, so I didn't see that until I was updating your information over the last week or so, and I saw that funding number was incorrect. So I had Jennifer change it to the correct number and send it back to you for a re-sign, just so there wasn't confusion down the road. Again, it doesn't change any of the numbers, the amount of actual dollars that are going into your plan. That was all correct. Those are all built-in formulas. So the only error was just a mistype that percentage amount.
So it was 25%. The correct one is 17.21%.
That's correct. And we never had, you never had it funded that high at 25%. That was on a alternate plan option that we ran that you guys didn't go with, so it was completely irrelevant to your current decision.
Yeah. So is there a board motion to authorize chair to sign the new one that says 17.21 funded risk?
So.
Motion by Steve, second by Travis to authorize chair signature on the correct 17.21 of the IGHCP form. Any discussion? If not, roll call. Steve?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
Isaac?
Aye.
Jake? Aye. Motion carried 4-0 with the absence of Scott. All right, now we can talk about the PSF partial self-funded update. I reached out to Denise, like I said I would last week. Go ahead, Denise, where are we at?
Yeah, so I just updated your risk review there on page 2 to reflect updated claims. So just for the board's benefit, let's go ahead and walk through that entire risk review to just make sure everybody's on the same page relative to how we got there. So if you look at your current plan, that's going to be the box to the right, current plan, you're purchasing from Wellmark a $9,000 single deductible. A $9,000 single out-of-pocket maximum. That's the Wellmark out-of-pocket maximum is $9,000. It's $18,000 for a family. So what that means to you is, from a county's perspective, once that claim dollar amount hits $9,000, Wellmark's paying it 100%. So from the county's perspective, you're really interested in what's the county risk. And in order for you to figure out that risk, you have to look at the claims that fall beneath from what Wellmark is paying 100%. Again, that $9,000 number. So we start with $9,000, and from that, we have to remove what portion the employee is going to pay. So of the $9,000 risk, the employee is going to be responsible for $2,000 because that's their out-of-pocket maximum. If we remove the employee liability from the Wellmark out-of-pocket maximum, that leaves $7,000 on the single contract and $14,000 for a family. So that's where the county's exposure lies. For any single contract, the county's on the hook for up to $7,000 annually for every single contract under the plan. They're on the hook for up to $14,000 for all of the families. You have 65 singles. So if I take 65 singles times that $7,000 risk, county risk, that equals $455,000. The same logic applies to the family side. So 14,000 times 25 families that you have covered under the plan equals that $350,000 number. combining the singles with the family risk. That equals $805, which is the worst case scenario. So if every single employee and their dependent were hospitalized in the same year, where they were exceeding that $9,000 and $18,000 limit, that would cost the county $805,000. We know that the county is not going to be in a situation where 100% of the membership's in the hospital in the same year. You currently have it funded for 17.21% of those people being in the hospital. What we typically see in a group like yours is between 20 and 25% of those people being in the hospital. So you have it funded for 17.21%. We anticipate you're probably going to fall closer to that 20% number. So that's really what we're monitoring here. That's what we spoke about. Jake and I spoke about last week, was how's the county doing relative to what you've anticipated our numbers to be, claims numbers, versus where are they in reality. So if you now look below that box where it says TSF claims paid, we just have a few months in your current plan year, July, August, and September. So you have your first 3 months equaling $51,642. So that's how much we've paid in claims in the first 3 months of your plan year. I realize it's early to be annualizing numbers, but there's no way for me to project without doing that. So we're going to annualize those first 3 months to get to that $206,000 number. So if your last 9 months of your plan year operate like your first 3 months, we anticipate you spending $206,569. You're setting aside $138,570 of those dollars. Now, with that said, you could be down from there. You know, you could have some good months that change that annualization, and we're going to be looking at that each and every month as we go through your plan year. You could also go the other direction and have some bad claims months where that number ends up a little larger. So again, we have our finger on the pulse of that, and we'll we'll keep you updated as you go through your plan year. So with that said, we have to then look at how much money are we going to take in over those next 9 months versus what we anticipate your claims are going to be. And then that's what you're going to see kind of in the center of that page there on the left side. The September 2025 account balance, so that's how much money is in your reserve account, your trust fund account. You have $80,114. For October, you haven't received your receipt of disbursements for October yet, but for October, you've given us $9,982. Your claims in that same time period were $55.09, so your claims were below your funding. That's great. That leaves your estimated claims balance November 1 at $84,588. Now I'm going to do the rest of your claims estimating your claims and your funding from November then through June. We just covered through November 1, so now we're going to look at the months of November through June. We anticipate funding from you of $92,380. That's just in our regular fund collection. That's not you giving us any additional money. That's just what we're going to collect systematically each month to equal that $92,000. We anticipate your claims to be $137,713,000 in that same period. So that would leave you with around $40,000. If everything goes just exactly as I've written it out here, you should end up with $40,000 in your reserve account or your trust fund account at the end of this plan year. So the concern with having such a small fund balance is, we're probably going to have to encourage you to increase that 17.21% of funded exposure. That's what you're putting in today. You're putting in 17.21. We want to get that up until we get closer to 21, 22% would be ideal. So when I go to renew your plan next year, I'm going to tell you, I really want you to increase the amount of funding going into your plan. Today it's $138,500. If you're going to use it a rate closer to $200,000, I need that $138,000 to increase. So we can do that in two ways. We can do it in 1/12 increments where we do it through premium collection, we just increase the amount of partial self-funding next July to reflect more money to cover your claims, which will be a increase in the total premium cost. And that's just on the partial self-fund before Walmart gives us an increase. That's one way that we can do it. And that's the traditional way. That's the way you're doing it now. And that's the way you've always done it. The other way, you can infuse money into your reserve account to allow for claims payments with ease rather than us call you in the middle of the plan year and say, hey, we're out of money. Your providers aren't being paid, is to do what's called a direct contribution to the reserve. So if you were able to, let's say, you could clean up that potential deficit by adding additional $50,000 to the reserve. You could send us, or send your claims account, infuse $50,000 into that account, but then we would end the plan year closer to $90,000 in your reserve, which would mean we probably, that we wouldn't have to increase the overall plan cost to the same degree, next July. So with that, I'm going to stop. I covered a lot. I said a lot. So I want to answer any questions or provide clarity where there might be some confusion.
Any questions for Denise? We've been buying down the trust fund by not funding the PSF for the last, 5-6 years, Denise?
Yes.
So now I think we are, in my opinion only, if you guys agree, disagree, I don't care. I think it's too low. I think it's gonna be come budget work session, and we're gonna have to go up to that 25% funded, which is gonna be general supplemental, which is a budget discussion. Just me and Denise talked, maybe we should take some of that ending fund balance that we had and infuse 40, 50, 60,000. So we have that roughly $90,000 ending fund PSF. Because if we do get tight with budgets, then we have to do that and potential Walmart increase at the same time.
And I guess that's where I was going to go next was, it definitely will take some pressure off if you are able to infuse a little money into the reserve as opposed to waiting, kicking the can down the road until we get to your renewal. Because if I have to increase the Walmart premium and partial self-funding, it feels kind of like a double whammy. Let's say we get a 4% or a 5% renewal from Walmart, and then I have to also increase your partial self-fund dollars. We could end up having to take, a 7% renewal where we normally would have only taken 5%. And if you had a healthy partial self-fund balance, that we could, take even less. So keeping a healthy fund balance really allows you to leverage your renewal increases. Again, the whole idea of IGHCP is to keep you from having peaks and valleys within your renewal process. You just want you want the lowest, slowest growth in your premium, as possible. When you are on your own, or when you talk to any of your neighbors that are on their own, they're not inside of IGHCP. Many counties this year are experiencing double-digit rate increases. I talked to a county that has 40% rate increase. They don't have the advantage of being in IGHCP where they have all of the other members helping, offset these rate increases. So what I'm trying to help you do is make sure that you're not having a situation where, I'm telling you I need 8% or 9% on one of your largest budgetable items, that you're dealing with. So again, the whole idea is that they're your claims. If you experience those claims, you have to pay them. Nobody's going to come up and pay those claims for you. So it's kind of pay me now or pay me later.
You ask her, just for the record, what are the contribution amounts for single and family plans per month or per year, Charlie?
Yeah, that's on page. County Attorney David asked Denise, where are we at currently? It's on page 3, right? No, page 4. So
For your claims activity, yeah, you guys are running well as far as your Walmart claims go. So you're running at a 68% loss ratio.
Is that your question?
So you're running well. No big concerns relative to your overall claims. Again, these claims that I'm asking you to fund are expected. We expected this when we set your rates last spring. We there's never been a time where we didn't expect your claims to run in that 20% range.
That's single, and then this one is.
Did that answer your question, Dave, I guess?
Yeah, sorry.
No, we got an answer. Perfect. Thank you.
216.
And I'm just gonna bring this up, Denise. You know where I stand on this. A lot of this potentially could have came from adding family insurance back, not knowing all these claims, right? Because we added dependents.
Well, I mean, certainly, yeah. If you add more people to your plan, you're going to have more claims. Definitely. Yes.
So I think this is a catch-up of what was done, and now it's taking a lot of the PSF from the trust fund.
Right.
Taking more than maybe projected.
Is there a way to tell the answer to that question, utilization rates?
No, I can't. It would be hard, potentially impossible for me to go through and find out by member, and I wouldn't be able to disclose that anyway because of HIPAA. But it would be hard for me to say, okay, well, these people weren't covered under your plan a year ago, they are, and they contributed X amount of dollars to your premium versus, that would be a very difficult project.
I'm not asking for that number, I'm just asking, I'm sure it's possible to say, hey, there's 65 individual plans and 25 family plans. The individual plans had this amount of claims and the family plans had this amount of claims total.
No, Wellmark does not strip out claims that way. They don't strip out what claims were from single contract versus family. They're all combined. I could maybe get something at the EBS level. I could talk to my reporting department to see if there's a way that we could get at that number with the EBS data. I know Wellmark doesn't do it, but we might be able to do it on the partial self-fund dollars.
So I guess the question is then to the board is, how low do you want the PSF to go? And then at renewal in March or April, do you want to see that big increase of potentially 25% from the 17.21 funded? This would require, I think I talked to Sheila, would require a budget amendment to infuse anywhere from 40 to 60,000, so we get that ending fund balance back up to that 90,000. Or we can do nothing, like see what it does the next 3 or 4 months. But you guys all understand a budget amendment takes time.
I think we need to get that fund up there, close to that 90,000.
I do too, especially.
Is that enough?
Is that enough?
Is that 90,000 enough?
Denise, would that be enough? Do you think 90,000 June 30th would be enough, and then revisit during budget work session?
Yeah, I just want to do one. I want to get to one number here. Just give me 1 second.
I'm just wondering if the wheels fell off. I mean,
We don't know who's gonna get sick, right?
exactly, but
That's because we
I
are,
do think that, I mean, if you did that, that would put in a total of $228,570 over a 12-month period. Your average utilization is 102. Now that 102 is without all of the additional family members. So if we just say, we want to focus closer to that $140,000, I would say if we assume you're going to use even the worst case, I guess that you're you're gonna continue to run as high as you are right now at 205,000 or 206,000, that's still 228,500 that you're putting in, so you should have a bit of a reserve balance. So yeah, I think that would be a good number to start. And of course, I update this claims detail on a monthly basis, so we can just keep that communication open so that there aren't any surprises as the year continues.
Isaac, you got any other questions for Denise? So yeah, this discussion is PSF is trying to get that balance up a little bit, so we don't fall short. Otherwise, Denise, I think we'll discuss a potential budget amendment at a number so we can get that process started.
And I'll stay in touch. I'm actively working on your renewal right now, so we're 2 months away from having the renewal for 2026. So, you know, I think that we're going to have another good year, another good renewal year. So hopefully, if you guys can infuse a little bit more money into your partial self fund, we have another good Wellmark renewal. You guys will be in good shape going into your, you know, your next plan year.
All right. Anything else, guys? All right. Thanks, Denise. Appreciate it.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
You too. So budget work, budget amendments, I'd say at least a month to 2 months out. I think there's a couple more fixes that we need to get done.
And we're gonna do the tip.
And the TIF will have to be done too somehow. Create accounts and everything else.
I need to get a permission to spend it.
Permission to spend. So any number we can put down for a budget amendment number 2. What do you think, Travis?
Well, I would say 60.
You're at 60. Steve?
I'd be okay with 60.
Yeah,
60.
Okay.
Yeah, to that, close to that.
So we're doing a one-time offer to EBS or whatever, IGHCP trust fund. This is not a motion, this is just to get the paperwork ready for a budget amendment.
And this will come out of jail supplemental, correct?
It'll come out of GS.
But we could do a
So if
transfer.
there's other things that come up, we can, start the planning process on budget amendments.
Correct.
And you might change that total too with information she comes back at the end of October and give it.
But she does have the month of claims for October. She entered those on that.
Oh, she did?
Yeah,
But
October claims.
November and that, so.
Yeah, we're in November now.
October claims are under the funding.
Yeah,
They are,
he said they were in there.
but they're under what we've been thinking. All right, anything else on that topic? Did you print off that form I have to sign for that 17.21? I'll look at it, I'll print it off. It was from Jennifer.
Oh, he's actually, she got this.
Oh, yeah, this one, you got her right here. Good job, thanks. You guys wanna stay live for 5 minutes, or you wanna go back to a recess?
Whatever.
Can't talk about nothing. We'll recess again. 9:50.
cheese and live.
No.
All right, we're back in at 10 o'clock here to convene. Item on the agenda is possible closed session under Iowa Code 21.51K, reference Iowa Code 22.7 subsection 50 to discuss updated security procedures at the county-owned properties. Is there a motion to enter closed session?
Second.
Motion by Steve, second by Isaac to enter closed session under Iowa Code 21.51K. Any discussion? If not, roll call. Steve?
Aye.
Isaac?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
Jake? Aye. Motion is carried 4-0 with the absence of Scott. I'm just gonna end this session on YouTube because I don't believe there's gonna be action. Just an update today.